Today on Studio G, reporter Jordan Hardy gives us a better look at our newly painted Fremont Cannon.
Brenda Gomez gives us the scoop on what's happening in the entertainment world.
And Heather Fairberger will sit down with UNLV Startup Center Director Justin McVeigh.
All this and more right now on Studio G. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of Studio G. I'm Bianca Valdez.
And I'm Katie McLean.
The Fremont Cannon is coated with red paint. The seniors on the UNLV football team took turns on Monday painting the cannon one stroke at a time. The Rebels gathered at the Lied Athletic Complex, loaded the cannon on a trailer, and had a mini parade across campus. The crowd was filled with faculty, students, media, and players who all wanted to partake in making history at UNLV.
I've been here 7 years, it was gone for 8, so it's come back home and it feels really great. And I know everybody here on campus is proud to have it, and especially I feel good for the seniors on the football team.
It feels good. I've never seen it on campus in person before, so it's definitely a new feeling for me right now. But it was definitely a tale of sweet redemption, getting a good performance up in Reno. Like you said, the last time just, it was a bitter taste leaving the field last time, but this time couldn't be sweeter.
I mean, we're willing and people were clapping and shouting Rebels and just enjoying themselves, and it just brought a smile to our faces, especially mine.
School spirit and the battle win for the Fremont Cannon is only helping them get closer to a bowl game, something they haven't done since 2000. The cannon will be on display this Friday in the Lied Athletic Complex.
A man died after being shot at an apartment complex near UNLV Tuesday night. Las Vegas police received calls of gunshots near Maryland Parkway and University Avenue about 8 p.m. When officers arrived at the Tammany Hall Apartments located at 4386 Escondido Street, they found a man dead from apparent gunshot wounds. The identity of the man has not yet been released. Detectives are still investigating the scene. Anyone with information regarding this crime should call the Metropolitan Police Department Homicide Section at 702-828-3521.
Police need your help searching for 32-year-old Guadalupe Barales. Barales is being charged for a sexual assault of a female victim who is under the age of 10. Police also say Barales is a close friend of the victim's family and he may have been staying with them at a home near Commerce Street and Cary Avenue. Barales may have ties to Mexico, and investigators are considering the possibility that he might head that way. He is described as a Hispanic man, 5'8" and 180 pounds. He was last seen driving a white 1997 Nissan pickup truck with Nevada license plate 065VVJ. Anyone with information is asked to call North Las Vegas Police at 702-633-9111.
Obamacare claims to widen access of mental health care coverage to include millions of Americans. As insurance coverage expands, a recent UNLV Lindsay Institute policy report examines whether Nevada is ready to meet these needs. Reporter Tommy Laren brings us the story.
Millions of Americans are expected to receive coverage and treatment services for mental health and substance abuse disorders under the new Obamacare Act. The question remains whether or not Nevada has the workforce and resources to meet the growing demand. The Lindsay Institute, housed on the second floor of Greenspun, is conducting a series of mental health care reports, the first of which shines a light on the state of child mental health care services in Nevada. UNLV Associate Professor of Social Work at UNLV, Sandra Owens, is one of the report's authors. She stresses the importance of research in this field.
The purpose of the study is to analyze those data and to prepare for more specific data regarding the mental and behavioral health care workforce here in Southern Nevada.
The Lindsay Institute study is a three-part study of which Owens is the lead investigator. The study takes a deeper look into the challenges of addressing mental health concerns in Nevada.
During that study, we will be surveying all of the clinical providers in the area and asking about their training and suggestions that they have in terms of prioritizing how to expand the workforce, and what additional services are needed here in the Valley.
The report suggests that the mental health care workforce, or lack thereof, may be the problem.
And we know that there is a shortage of mental health professionals in the Clark County area. We also know that we're a medically underserved area.
Owens and her colleagues at the Lindsay Institute hope the report will bring in more federal dollars to address the needs of Southern Nevada.
With these data, we'll be able to share that with the community, with community providers and university researchers so that we can leverage the funds that Lindsay has invested in this mental and behavioral health assessment to go after federal dollars that are available to us because we're a medically underserved area and because we have a shortage of mental health professionals here in Clark County.
Though Nevada has a smaller proportion of children with mental health conditions, the state's children experience higher rates of depression, 14% as compared to Arizona and Colorado's 10% and Florida's 11%. Furthermore, the report found that Nevada children are less likely to seek services than those in peer states. The Lindsay Institute report shows that Southern Nevada still has improvements to make. The Institute hopes their research will aid in the ongoing struggle against mental health issues here in the Silver State. For Studio G, I'm Tommy Laren.
Thanks, Tommy. To read the full Lindsay Institute study, go to unlv.edu/Lindsay Institute.
Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius strongly apologized for the botched launch of the government's Obamacare website before a congressional panel today.
I am as frustrated and angry as anyone with the flawed launch of healthcare.gov. So let me say directly to these Americans, you deserve better. I apologize. I'm accountable to you for fixing these problems, and I'm committed to earning your confidence back by fixing the site.
Last week, Secretary Sebelius and President Obama didn't know of the problems with the Affordable Care Act's website until after the troubled launch. This was despite the fact that insurance companies had been complaining and the site crashed during a pre-launch test run. We will keep you updated upon this matter.
When we come back from the break, reporter Elena Ledbetter gives us a look on how pet owners need to take precaution when it comes to giving their animals a treat.
And Ferraninos gives us the beats from UNLV Society of Professional Journalists. Stay tuned.
The School of Engineering, located on the northwest side of campus, offers a wide variety of classes and activities. The Great Hall inside the Thomas T. Bean Engineering Complex features an array of the school's accomplishments and work, such as their annual cement canoe competition and bridge design competition that select students participate in. Named after Howard Hughes, this school takes learning to new heights.
My name is James Grant.
King Louie here.
This is Jennifer.
Crystal May Maguerza.
I'm Savannah.
Zoe here.
This is your boy Miles Lowe.
Christian FGY.
Kaylin Hype.
And I'm Jay Luna.
My Mind's Music.
Gonzo Radio.
Combox Radio.
Join us for Happy Hour.
The Miles Lowe Midweek Show.
Ill Vibe Theory.
On KUNV.
KUNV. KUNV.
KUNV HD2.
91.5 The Rebel.
Broadcast on Revcast.com.
A recent outbreak has pet owners concerned about their animals. Reporter Elena Ledbetter has more.
Last week, the Food and Drug Administration released a statement for pet owners to be cautious about feeding their cats or dogs jerky treats.
I've had no issues because I go to one of the alternative markets that have only made in America stuff as far as the animal treats goes.
Tony Miccarelli, a longtime dog owner, has always researched what kind of foods his dog Gretchen eats. He's thankful she has not been a victim of this outbreak. The outbreak involves jerky treats imported from China. The treats have affected 3,600 dogs and 10 cats. Dr. Dennis Arnn, veterinarian of the Deserton Animal Hospital, said after the animals ingest these jerky treats, the symptoms they have are:
they're vomiting, have diarrhea, some of them have renal failure, some of them just intestinal signs, and they need fluids, and some recover and some don't.
The FDA said that approximately 580 of these animals have died from ingesting these jerky treats, and there is still no cause to the outbreak. Olivia Serrata, field representative for Natural Balance Pet Food, said pet owners should not be so easily sold on pet food ads because the ingredients in them could be harming their animals.
So that's popular for them because that's what they see on TV. But if we're talking about customers that are educated, then definitely the more natural dog treats, and Natural Balance is one of them.
Natural ingredients and certain fruit and vegetables are healthy alternatives to feed your pets, according to Dr. Arndt. And for Amicarelli, he always advises pet owners to watch what they're feeding their animals.
Check the labels first. And almost everyone has access to the internet, and if you don't, you have a friend who does.
And if you're concerned about your cat or dog being affected by this, it's always good to check where your treats were manufactured, as well as the ingredients on the back. If there's an ingredient that you do not recognize, most likely it should not be ingested by your animal. There you go. Reporting for Studio G, I'm Elena Ledbetter.
Feeding your animals natural treats can be expensive, but there are cheaper options. If they're not too picky, certain fruits and vegetables can be healthy alternatives. If you're interested in finding out more about this outbreak of jerky treats, you can visit the FDA's website at fda.gov.
UNLV's SBJ chapter held a Beats Day event on Monday, and Farron Enos has the scoop.
It's Beats Day here at SBJ's meeting, where students get a chance to talk to Las Vegas professionals.
UNLV's Society for Professional Journalists hosted a Beats Day on Monday in which local panelists in the field of print and broadcast talked with students and answered questions. The event allowed panelists to discuss the beats they cover as well as their daily routines and careers. Panelist Heidi Kaiser is a senior staff writer for Vegas 7 magazine, who welcomed the opportunity to talk to students because she feels helping others in the field is important.
I've been mentored by some incredible journalists, some incredible writers, some incredible editors, and this is my chance to pay that forward, to give back, and I'm astonished at the level of talent, frankly, in this school. So I think it's especially important in this city, in this market, to foster that talent and give those people all the help they need.
And panelist Azeneth Smith hopes she helped inspire students with their future career paths.
Well, it's great. It re-energizes you when you hear from young people who want to pursue a career in journalism and think, oh, you know, a couple years ago that I was in the same position. I'm glad that I came out here and I hopefully helped people and helped others and will help them in their career paths like others have helped me.
Some students, such as Nakaya Berry, feels the panelists give her an insight on the career path she wants to take.
Just more and close-up, I guess, knowledge from the people in the profession, and then I'll know more what to expect when I get in the field myself professionally.
While other students, such as Andrea Corral, looks to these meetings for networking opportunities.
I really like coming to these events because it's great to have a one-on-one conversation with journalists and learn more than just what's in the book. You know, this is about networking, and you should start by coming to these meetings if you ever want to make it in the field. So it's always good to put your foot on the door.
Not only do students get a chance to mingle with professionals, but it's meetings like these that students get advice that they can use in the professional world. For Studio G, I'm Farron Enos.
Though membership opportunities are now closed for the semester, you can find out about joining SPJ on their website at unlv.collegiatelink.net. When we come back from the break, China Green will give us our 7-day weather forecast.
And Brenda Gomez will give us our entertainment news. Stay tuned.
This is your house too. Located on the campus of UNLV on Brussels Street sits Housel House, the Center for Social Justice. A place where everyone can participate, explore cultural identity, share different experiences, and learn leadership skills. No judgments. You are accepted, you are important, and you are welcomed.
Stand up, speak out, and change the world.
Your community's farmers market. Welcoming, lively, friendly. A place where neighbors and friends come together to celebrate their community. With over 50 vendors, organic, sustainable, fresh produce are available just for you. Support and buy local at Fresh 52.
Good afternoon, I'm China Green, and we're going to take a look at the 7-day forecast. So right now, at this very moment, it is 60 degrees. It's sunny, but the clouds are sneaking in there. And there's no wind today, so that's good. At least it's cold, but no wind. And then we're going to have a high of 60 and a low of 47. And then the sunset is going to happen at 5:45 tonight. We're feeling some of that Halloween weather. And our current weather right now, we're seeing a lot of low temperature, actually. 58 in San Francisco, that's usually one of our higher ones, but it's in the 50s. And then we have the 30s in Elko and 33 in Bryce Canyon, so bundle up. And then for our satellite, we're seeing a little rain over in the West Coast, but then we're seeing a lot of rain coming from Texas, going into the south, and then going up into the Midwest. So make sure you check your advisory for that in your area. And then for tomorrow's forecast, we're seeing a lot of rain and a lot of storm. We have a little sun in this area, but Miami is staying strong in the East Coast, sunny at 87 degrees. And then for your extended forecast, we're having some consistent temperature with the high of 60s and then the low 70s. So that's all the weather I have for you today. Now let's toss it over to Brenda with the recap on the latest celebrity gossip.
Welcome to this week's segment of Did You Hear? I'm Brenda Gomez, here to bring you the latest scoop on what's happening in the entertainment world. We'll begin with some sad news. You may recognize him from the song Walk on the Wild Side. Rock and roll legend Lou Reed passed away on Sunday at the age of 71. His death was caused by liver disease. The artist had received a liver transplant back in May. He was a singer, songwriter, and guitarist for the Velvet Underground, and he then worked as a solo artist. Reed influenced many generations and helped shape the world of rock music. It has been a hectic weekend for Chris Brown. The 24-year-old singer and his bodyguard were first charged with felony assaults this past weekend in Washington, D.C. According to CNN, the two men were involved in a fight that left another man injured. Brown was scheduled to appear at an event that night. After Monday's court hearing, the initial charges made on the men were dropped down to misdemeanors. Brown will also enter a rehab facility. The Jonas Brothers have separated. According to E! Reports, Nick, Joe, and Kevin's breakup came after having different interests. The boy band's national 19-shore tour was canceled before the announcement of their separation was made. Their tour was canceled because they disagreed on a musical path. If you want to see for yourself, their official group Twitter account is no longer in use since it was deactivated. Katy Perry has made an announcement to her musical peers. According to NPR, the singer suggested that they should wear more clothing. Although she didn't mention anyone specifically, she did make it clear that her peers are taking off too much in order to be in the spotlight. While she did admit that she was one to blame for not wearing enough clothing, she stated that it's time to focus on her talents. Well, that's all I have for you today. Don't forget to tune in next week for the latest gossip. When we come back from the break, we'll be joined with UNLV Startup Center Director. Stay tuned.
The School of Engineering, located on the northwest side of campus, offers a wide variety of classes and activities. The Great Hall inside the Thomas T. Bean Engineering Complex features an array of the school's accomplishments and work, such as their annual cement canoe competition and bridge design competition that select students participate in. Named after Howard Hughes, this school takes learning to new heights.
You drinking tonight?
Nah, not tonight.
Well, give me a couple beers. You want some?
No, stop.
Come on, just
Stop.
take a drink.
No.
It's just a drink.
I have to drive us home. Can
I'm
you
good.
even walk in a straight line?
Yes, want me to show you?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Man, what are you talking about? I got this.
Just give me the keys, please.
I ain't drunk though.
Welcome back to Studio G. Today we are joined by UNLV Business Startup Center Director Justin McVeigh. Thank you so much for being here today, Justin.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we did run a little story on the Startup Center yesterday, but for those that didn't get to watch it, could you give us a little recap on what exactly you do?
Sure, happy to. We're a free resource for students right in the middle of the student union who may have an idea, want to start a business, and don't really know how to take it to the next level. We have experts on staff that can help them in business planning, strategy, financial forecasting, really anything to get your startup off the ground. We think that we have an opportunity to help you out.
And now this isn't only for students, right?
Correct, yeah. While we are located in the student union, we're really a campus and community resource. So we have satellite office locations throughout the community to be able to reach out into community members who may have a startup or an idea that they want to get off the ground as well. So while we're not just for students, we do have the headquarters right here on campus, and we hope that we can take advantage of that opportunity and reach out to students. But we are a full community resource as well.
And at no cost.
We're completely free. We don't charge any fees for our consulting services, and we don't take any equity in the company as well. We're funded by a grant through the Nevada Small Business Development Center and the Small Business Administration, and so that grant allows us to offer our services completely free.
And now you do have events, and I know you have one coming up at the end of November. Do you want to tell us about that?
Sure. We're really excited about that event. It's Startup Weekend, which is a global event that happens throughout the world, sponsored by the Kauffman Foundation, and there's a lot of other global sponsors. But it's never happened here at UNLV, and so we're bringing the Startup Weekend Las Vegas brand to UNLV, and we're going to be launching that November 22nd through the 24th. So it's a really interesting concept. What it does is it challenges individuals who come in with an idea to build that into a company over the course of 54 hours. So you start out with a pitch. Those in the room, usually 50 to 100 people that are participating, all kind of form teams around the ones they like the best. And then over the course of that weekend, you turn that idea into a reality. There's another pitch at the end where you pitch to judges, and then there's a winner selected. Whether you're the winner or not, though, you leave with a company. So it's a really great opportunity to bring in an idea, one that you really think there's a need in the market and you want to develop it, and come away Sunday with a company and a team to continue growing.
That's amazing. So what exactly does the winner get?
So there's a lot of global sponsors, things like .co, Amazon Web Services, Google, and they all have kind of thrown in some prizes into the pot. So you get free .co domain, free Amazon Web Services. We have local sponsors as well that have offered some prizes. Things like the Innovation Center has offered 6 months of free co-working space at their center for the winner. So there's a lot of great opportunities, but I can't stress enough that winning is just one part of it. Everyone really wins because there's a company to be had at the end of that based on an idea that you came forward with on Friday. So over 54 hours forming a team, doing all of your market research, putting your planning together, and then actually getting some sort of minimum viable product of your company out by Sunday. It's a really great opportunity. And then we've seen success across the globe on these companies that have formed out of a startup weekend actually continuing on and being successful in their own right. So it's a great opportunity to learn how to start a business, but then it's also a really great opportunity to bring your own idea and turn it into a reality.
Right. Now, I don't know if you have them just at Startup Weekend, or I know that you have mentors. How does one become a mentor in the Startup Center?
Reach out to us. We're looking for experts in all different walks of life, especially those that are entrepreneurs themselves and have successfully started or exited companies. But really, if you're an expert, an attorney, a CPA, some sort of business advisor, what we're looking for is those in the community that are willing to raise their hand and say, we want to be part of what you're doing at UNLV. We want to help startups. We know that there's a great economic impact for small businesses formed in a community, and that's what our ultimate goal is. So by having those members of the community, that private partnership with the university, it really allows us to scale a lot more quickly than we would be able to on our own. So, reach out to us. We have at UNLV Startup on Twitter. We're at UNLV Startup on Facebook. UNLVstartup.org is our website. Certainly reach out to us. Let us know that you're interested, and we will definitely find a place if you're willing to volunteer.
And just briefly, how many clients do you think you've helped out?
Well, we originally started around April in the spring, so it was not, it was during the summer school semester, but since then, especially grown since we really formed our space in the student union in August, we've seen about 100 to 110 clients come through those doors. So that's 100 to 110 startups that have formed with our assistance just in the past 6 months.
Right. Well, Justin, I believe we're out of time, but thank you so much for coming in today. Hopefully everyone can make it out to the Startup Weekend. We'll be right back with more Studio G after the break.
Collegiate DECA promotes personal and professional development through competitive events, community involvement, and leadership development.
I joined DECA because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. So I got to meet people, network, and definitely work on my public speaking.
To join DECA, it's a very simple process. You have to pay a $25 membership fee. You can either come to our next meeting, our website, which is unlvdeca.co.vu.
We're open to all majors who are interested in business, finance, or hospitality-related fields.
I think what a lot of people don't realize, we provide 1,300 hot meals a day through 3 of our kitchens. We have about 650 people sleeping in beds provided by the Salvation Army every night. We have 127,000 of people that we touch every year. It's huge, and people have no idea that we do more than have thrift stores and ring bells at Christmas.
A UNLV student's death was a mystery last month until she was finally identified by legal next of kin this month. Reporter Shelly Salvido has more.
On September 5th, UNLV's Feynman Residence Hall endured a devastating tragedy. According to Clark County Coroner Michael Murphy, 58-year-old Karen S. Matthews was found dead in her dorm room due to natural causes related to diabetes.
We received a call that there was an odor that was detected in the dormitory. We found this woman had died in her room.
Matthews' emergency contact information indicated that all of her family members had been deceased, except for a sister, whom after a month received notice about her sibling through media interest. UNLV Housing and Residential Life had no comment towards the situation. Resident Nick Talbot was briefly informed upon the rumor amongst fellow residents.
They said she had natural causes, but I think that the campus should have notified everybody.
Murphy said that cases like this represent a small percentage of deaths his office handles.
I believe that anytime we all work together for the greater good, we've done the right thing.
Matthews was studying criminal justice as a senior, starting her first semester at the university.
As a student, Matthews will be remembered as a UNLV rebel. For Studio G, I am Shelly Salvido.
The coroner said that his office deals with 39 to 40 deaths a day here in Clark County and 10 to 15 deaths a day like Matthews.
A North Dakota woman won't be handing out candy to every trick-or-treater who shows up to her house this Halloween. Instead, she'll be handing out these letters on childhood obesity to overweight children. She emailed this letter shortly after calling Y94 Radio, and this is what she had to say.
I just want to send a message to the parents of kids that are really overweight. I think it's just really irresponsible of parents just sort of sending out looking for free candy just because all of the other kids are doing it.
The woman feels like it takes an entire community to solve the obesity epidemic, and she hopes that her letter will solve this problem.
The new film, Escape from Tomorrow, is about a family vacation to Disney World that takes a dark turn. The movie's twisted and un-Disney-like plot won't exactly make executives at Disney stand and cheer. Amazingly, first-time director Randy Moore shot his movie, on the sly, inside Disney World and Disneyland over a period of weeks without Disney ever catching on. The Magic Kingdom is turned into a black and white nightmare in Escape from Tomorrow, the story of a man who comes unglued during a family vacation to the Orlando theme park. How could Disney have failed to discover a film crew and more than half a dozen actors in their parks? Well, it had a lot to do with the camera Moore used, one that looks like the kind any tourist might carry. Moore used the Canon 5D Mark II camera. Surprisingly, despite every opportunity to respond, Disney hasn't lifted a finger against the filmmaker. When CNN asked Disney for a comment, a spokesperson replied, "We are aware of the film." Moore said that he's been pleasantly surprised he hasn't heard from Disney's attorneys. Well, that's all the news we have for you on this edition of Studio G. I am Bianca Valdez.
And I'm Katie McLean. Have a wonderful Wednesday, Las Vegas.